I'd like to just send a quick message out to the leftist community and say, please get your shit together. Over the past 48 hours, there has been a large amount of complete and utter nonsense that has been going on, and it actually has nothing to do with me. Right now, there is a person who people are trying to get canceled because they tried to post links to illegal content in their live stream because they were upset because the person didn't have the viewpoint that they wanted. Another person, the people are trying to get canceled because they said a word they didn't like. No, it wasn't the N word. It was something far less significant. Could you please start acting like adults? Do you understand my frustration here? You're going around trying to get people canceled and then posting links to illegal content in people's live streams to get them taken down rather than fairly engage in actual debate over ideology. This is complete and utter nonsense. This is Nazi-level wrecking. Could you please grow up? All right. The problem here is cancel culture. You know how it used to be call-out culture? Now it's cancel culture. Everybody is so hung up on trying to cancel anyone they disagree with because they can't engage in a free and fair debate. Now here's my problem. Cancel culture is being weaponized against the radical left in favor of radical liberals. I think this is fairly obvious by now. Why is it that the biggest so-called left personalities are actually radical liberals? You know, the ones that tell you to vote for Biden. And there's actually a good number of them that are doing this. And you see, well, if you're supposed to be left, this is kind of the antithesis of that. And that should be fairly obvious to someone who has even a shred of integrity or intelligence. You've got some streamers on Twitch who like to use the N-word, and no one does a thing about it. Completely look the other way. Cancel culture doesn't seem to want to touch them in any way, shape, or form. They can lose a debate to Mexi, then remove the video and call her a cunt because they lost. I think we all know who I'm talking about. In another circumstance, you can have people like, well, I think you know who I'm talking about, who claim to be the super ultra gender warriors, but then shout down any trans person that disagrees with them, and they usually say some degrading, insulting things, like referring to one trans person as a really negative way. I can't say what that person said because then cancel culture will come after me. And by the way, good luck, because people have been trying to get me canceled for 12 fucking years and it hasn't worked so far. My problem is with these radlibs. Do you ever notice that the radlibs can say all kinds of reactionary shit, actual hate speech, actual anti-Semitism, actual reusing actually racist terms, and nothing happens to them whatsoever? Because as long as they're pushing the blue no matter who or riding with Biden nonsense, somehow the social media companies always seem to find a way in order to protect them. It's never worth getting rid of those people, but if you are actual left, actual radical left, then all of a sudden, even the smallest little, even pointless thing is a reason to try to take you down. And I think what we need to do at this point is start recognizing that this is goddamn cointelpro. You couldn't get any more obvious at this point. Literally, the people that are against radical leftism are the ones being propped up. They are radical liberals. They are rightists. And they are dumping on everyone who is actually left. Look at one name, Vosh, who created a whole video attacking Jimmy Dore for pointing out that Biden didn't keep his word. What was the point of that? Biden didn't keep his word. You remember riding with Biden, and then as soon as they don't keep their word, you attack somebody for pointing it out? Hey, by all means, disagree with Jimmy Dore all you want. But what's important here is the importance that is placed on attacking people who point out that Biden did not do what he said he was going to do. If only there was a huge community of people who had already warned that Biden was not a leftist and was not going to do the things he said he was going to do. Frankly, at this point, if you think the Democrats are going to do what they tell you they're going to do during an election season, I mean, you're pretty much a fool at this point to actually believe that. And that the irony being that even Trump made more promises that he tried to keep than Biden has. About, not canceling student debt. Sorry, the best I can do is bomb the hell out of a third world country that we are currently trying to destabilize and destroy. But then again, of what relevance would bombing third world countries mean? I mean, it's not like the Iraq War was significant in any way. It doesn't really matter now anymore, according to certain individuals. I think at this point, it's time to recognize that the Radlibs are cointelpro at this point. That is what it is. Their platforms, YouTube, Twitch, etc., are being told to allow these people to continue regardless of the unethical, racist, hateful, even transphobic and homophobic things that they do. Allow them to continue and not get canceled or even censored in any way, shape, or form. If Vosh can go out and use the N-word and nothing happens to him, I think it's pretty obvious at this point that governmental powers or corporate government powers in the form, whatever particular form this COINTELPRO takes, is protecting him at this point. And I have my own theories as to why Vosh is COINTELPRO, but that's an explanation that's not exactly appropriate for social media because it'll probably get taken down. But if you're at a point now where you don't realize that ContraPoints, Vosh, Xanderthal, and the rest of the Radlib crew are controlled opposition at this point, you're a fool. And I think it's about time somebody really finally said this out loud, because I know everybody's thinking it. And I know everybody wants to do something about it. And what really sparked this off for me was a person, I don't even know if they would want me talking about this, but a person who's trying to be canceled because someone posted links to illegal content in their Twitch stream in order to get them banned. Which is like one of the scummiest dirtbag effing things that you could really do. Nothing would prove that you are nothing less than a ridiculous, dishonest, morally bankrupt, no argument having piece of anything than to do something like this. This is beneath leftism. We're Marxists. We are supposed to be scientific socialism of the great debates. We are supposed to be following in the tradition of the International in journals showing ideas. We are supposed to be following in the tradition of the struggle sessions in China, and we're pretty goddamn far from those, both in a temporal sense and those in a moral and sense as well. And things are screwing up for the radical left. And let me tell you something. This is not the first time that I've seen it. I've seen the proto version of this many years ago, 5, 6, maybe 8 years ago, where this sort of thing started to kind of happen. But now it's happening on a much larger scale because the internet is a much larger community than it was even a decade ago. So this is now occurring on a larger scale. If you're not realizing what's going on at this point, you're either not paying attention or you're a part of the problem. Or maybe you're one of them. And by that I mean one of the ones that are supporting this Radlib ideology. So I take great pride in using the 3 arrows idea. Down with imperialism, down with fascism, down with radical liberalism. We know that we can destroy every single one of these in debate, if that debate is fair and open, and if somebody is willing to actually debate it. unless you just block that person or have the debate, then delete the video and call them a cunt for some reason, like a coward. So that's just the point that I want to make to this video. Clean up your goddamn act. Act like an adult. And if you're a member of cointelpro, well, I have some other suggestions for you. But they wouldn't be friendly for YouTube's video guidelines.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.